This is the Power Age!
Watch it, buddy! Yes! It's the Atari! Sega CD-ROM! New Nintendo!
It's enough to make a grown man cry.
This episode of My Retro Life is sponsored by Factor. Growing up in the years after my parents' divorce, I noticed my dad made a concerted effort to lose weight. Problem back in the 90s was there really wasn't a solution for his busy work schedule, and as a family, we didn't have time for a home-cooked meal. If only we had Factor. I tried out Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals for a week, and I'm honestly shocked that meals of this high caliber came straight from their oven to my door. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. Factor meals eliminate the hassle of prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Simply heat and savor the good stuff. Honestly, Factor saves me so much time, I can get back to making more retro gaming videos. And when things get hectic, Factor is flexible. Change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week. Or pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. Head to Factor75.com or click the link below and use code RETROLIFE50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code RETROLIFE50 at Factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring today's video. That's me working at EB Games, the first professional job I ever worked in my life.
I want the one all the way in the top too.
And of course, I was surrounded by video games.
What were you saying? There's a deal?
The year was 2006. I was 20 years old, and the video game industry was right in the middle of a transitional period between console generations.
We're set to launch the PlayStation 3 simultaneously throughout the world in major territories this November.
It doesn't seem that long ago, but in actuality, it was almost 20 years ago. It's crazy to think, huh? And we were in the middle of some brand new video game consoles with the release of the Nintendo DS the year before, the Sony PlayStation Portable, and the Xbox 360.
Xbox 360!
And you said it was gonna be impossible.
Finally.
Yay!
Now you can press
Tyler,
it.
do not open it. We're putting it on eBay.
For some of you, hearing the names of those consoles might bring back memories and feelings from your childhood. For me, I was 20 years old and about to enter a very difficult period of my life. You see, 2006 was the year my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and a lot of my memories and feelings around gaming in this era are very bittersweet for that reason. Around this time, Dad really was not videotaping a whole lot. We don't have a whole lot of home video footage from this era of video games, but what he did capture, I'm really glad he did. In particular, there was a really awesome moment that my dad captured on video inside an EB Games.
Get it at EB Games.
When my family moved out to Sugar Land in the early 90s, EB Games became our go-to video game shop. The closest location for years was inside the West Oaks Mall, and chances are, if you were shopping at West Oaks on my dad's day off, you'd probably find us at Babbage's or EB Games. Flash forward to 2005, and both of these chains, along with Funko Land, are now owned by video game retail giant GameStop. I didn't like it. Something about GameStop felt more corporate, and I could really tell because I worked there. I was there working as a part-time sales associate during the takeover. That summer of 2006, EB Games was still EB Games, but in name only. Everything inside the store at this point had been gutted and changed over to GameStop. The end of an era, and for me personally, the beginning of another. In the summer of 2006, my cousin Manny was actually in town visiting. The reason for his visit was to spend some time with my dad after his diagnosis. Manny jumped on a plane. He knew he had to be down in Texas visiting us and spending time with us. One afternoon while Manny was visiting that year, August of 2006, Dad decided he and Manny were going to drop in at EB Games while I was working and surprise me just with their presence, with their visit.
All right, keep going. There's the lake. The lake. Hey, the fountain. There's the fountain. Fountains of Wayne.
Dad brought the video camera along for the ride.
We should be back here by 6 in the morning, then you can leave. Shooting photos.
What you're about to see here is really a great representation of that era, of that time period, and it's even more notable because EB Games was on its way out. This footage is really interesting to look at today. You're going to see all sorts of amazing video games from the time period on the store shelves, on the walls, and for some of you, I know it's going to feel like a blast from the past.
Make an immediate right. Straight, make an immediate left. And it's right over there, EB Games.
Looks like he's got a large crowd here today.
Oh yeah, they're happy.
EB
One people. We made it.
Tyler sees us. It's not locked.
I heard it. Ding dong.
I want the one all the way on the top too.
How will you be paying?
It doesn't matter.
So I can see you're chock full of people here.
Yes, absolutely. Would you like to buy some Xbox Live points?
I made that mistake.
Actually, you get
You should have told me that before I got here. Because I just bought for 1,000.
Oh, you did? Oh, man.
What were you saying? There's a deal?
Actually, you couldn't use it today because Chris isn't here. I was saying you could use my discount.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is Jackie.
Hi. Hi, Jackie. You're the guest star.
Guest star.
They actually put these into print. You think people would just go on
Online, yeah.
This is like you get this back when before the internet. It's like, sis, but she's the but cut.
Wait, maybe, what?
Seeing all those Game Boy Advance games on the wall, or the Xbox 360 signage behind me in the corner there, and even the Guitar Hero on the shelf. I mean, Guitar Hero was all the rage back then, and really, everything you see here is such a representation of gaming at the time. And it's so cool that Dad captured all this on video.
Would you like to buy some Xbox Live points?
When I look at this footage, it's so interesting to me. It was 18 years ago, and I feel like I'm a very different person today than I was back then. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. You look back at years old footage and you just know, man, who is that guy?
I was saying you could use my discount.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Who is that? That's how I feel when I look at this footage. But it is really special that Dad recorded this, because this was the last year that we had Dad, and so I cherish hearing his voice.
Sounds like a good conversation.
It's very interesting.
After Cousin Manny and Dad left the store that afternoon, they headed back to our house. Dad kept the camera rolling on our Xbox 360, where Manny was playing Street Fighter II Hyper Fighting on Xbox Live Arcade.
Nah. You have as many continues as you have quarters. Xbox Live points. You know? What if it did it that way? I can never get him past the R. Seems like every move he does to me takes away so much more than any move I do. Got the drop on him.
Yes. Finally got past it. Oh, he kills you.
We spent a good portion of that trip with Manny visiting us in 2006. Really, we played a lot of retro games via emulation, whether it was through the Xbox 360 Live Arcade with Street Fighter and some of the other releases on there, or retro games that we would play on an emulator through a computer.
Come on, come on, come on.
Yo, where's one?
I know, that's the same one I couldn't get.
Manny actually had programmed this computer to have a front-end software that he created called Emulation Station way before Raspberry Pis and way before that was ever a thing. Manny was one of the originators, one of the original software guys behind creating something like that, even if it was for personal use. And we played a lot of emulation on this trip.
Aaron's vet life.
Even at the age of 20, in our 20s, you know, we were getting nostalgic for the old days, and especially with kind of how things were going in life. With my dad having his recent diagnosis, it was a comfort to jump back in time and experience games that brought back memories when everything was fine in life, when Dad was healthy. And I think my dad was proud that I worked at a video game store and that I was doing this sort of thing. You know, he'd been there too, working retail for years. And here I was sort of following in his footsteps on the career path there as a salesperson at a retail store, but at a video game shop that video games we both bonded over so much over the years. I mean, that was my childhood with my dad, was playing and collecting and just gaming all the time.
I don't know if we can wear that. That doesn't look like clothes to me. Is that a big surprise? Cold all over the United States, Tyler.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're the best.
Thank you.
It's just real sweet for me to look at this footage and remember him in the store, because he would do this. He would come to the store often, just randomly show up and sort of surprise me with his presence. And it was always a treat whenever he came through the door. And we got to talk video games. Sometimes he would buy a video game, but he'd always want to know the latest releases. And I think he liked to just stop by and come by because he really liked the fact that I was there.
Hey, welcome to ED Games. Is there something we can help with?
You know, as much as we love retro games and as much as I love being able to look back on this footage, so much of life is about change. Life's going to happen. Things are going to change. And so you just got to live in the moment. You got to live in the day to day and experience the memories you're having, that you're making right now. Today, that is what matters most. The memories you make today are the future nostalgic memories you're going to have years and years from now.
Thanks for everything, Manny. Really, thanks for everything. Southwest down there, just go in.
I can
go
check
around.
my baggage right then.
You trust them. Think they might work for Enterprise. Bye.
Bye.
That's That's what I think about when I look at this footage, because it doesn't feel like that long ago, 2006.